Now, as Nigeria marks her 64th independence anniversary, President Bola Tinubu has reassured the people of his administration's commitment to a better nation. He was speaking during his Independence Day broadcast, where he noted that he, alongside his team, are committed to finding sustainable solutions to alleviate the suffering of the teeming population, while also pleading for patience as the reforms being implemented are showing positive signs, a sign of a light at the end of the tunnel. Well, Arise News analyst Dayo Sobowale joins us again to discuss the President's Independence Day speech and to what extent it captures the Nigerian reality and offers hope to the people, given the many headwinds the country is contending with. Good afternoon, Mr. Sobowale, and a warm welcome to the program today.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure being here as usual. And happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. It is an anniversary. Whether it's happy, I think a lot of Nigerians will be debating that.
It's a very happy anniversary. Nigerians are happy. And they have been independent for 64 years. They know what it means if you don't. So what's your question?
Okay. In fact, now that you've gone in that direction, let's start with the part of the president's speech that actually talks about this independence and its gains. So just to quote founding fathers, he talks about how the founding fathers launched the dream of a great country that would lead the rest of Africa out of poverty, ignorance, and underdevelopment. And he also went on to say that Nigeria has succeeded in realizing this dream. I'd love for you to elaborate on your thoughts on the president touting Nigeria as succeeding in liberating the rest of Africa.
What he's trying to say, you should not take it out of context. You hear me? He's pleading for time, even though he consists that he and his government, they are agents of change. And he said they could have sat back and do business as usual. This was what Obasanjo condemned earlier. But he said they have opted to change things, to go along the path of economic reforms and to revamp our defense architecture. And if you remember, we discussed most of the problems yesterday in connection with food insecurity. And to me, he has answered most of them in that speech. It is the speech that I'm interested in, not in anybody's opinion on the speech.
Yeah, that's why I quoted the speech directly.
That's right. I'm not interested in that part of the speech. I will tell you the many parts of the speech. You pick yours too.
Okay.
Yeah. You pick yours. See, there are many things he said in that speech. But first and foremost, he was pleading. He was pleading for time. And he has always pleaded for time. And he's responsive. Look at what we discussed yesterday about the dam, Lagido Dam. Maybe they put it at the last minute or not. It is in that speech that they will look at the integrity of all our dams so that we don't have floods sweeping away our farmlands and reducing us to poverty and hunger. So it's a speech of appeasement and an appeal that they know how to get us out of the rut, but we need to go along with them and give them time. Let's leave it at that for now.
All right. Like you said, this speech it wasn't really different from the previous ones we've seen. The appeal for more time. You touched on the response for the dams, which is great. But even though you say you're not interested in opinion, we are going to look at some aspects of those that were not. They felt that the speech was disconnected from the average Nigerian's reality. So I'm just wondering, what specific aspects of daily life challenges do you think were inadequately addressed in the president's speech?
All aspects of daily life challenges were addressed.
Adequately?
Because hunger, totally. Hunger is the main problem, and that's what we discussed yesterday. And he said they will find a way to connect the disrupted supply chains in food, insecurity, transportation. All of them are in that speech. And I like them. And these are work in progress. We call them work in progress. We're talking of food. They are bringing in fertilizers. You get me? Because they know an hungry man is an and Grima. They are setting up a plant on Nigerian soil to make tractors and farm equipment to be distributed all over the state. Some to be done in cooperation with the states. That is how a government responds to the needs and yearnings of its people. It cannot fold this back. And the government has tenure for 4 years. You get me? We know what he promised last year. We know where we are now. You cannot say he did not do anything. The speeches each year have their context. They have a status quo of where the country is economically, politically. And that is where he is. Next year now, God willing, if you are still here, we'll be able to judge him on what he says. If he repeats the same thing, now if they are still in the same context, if there has been no progress, people will condemn him. But if he is pleading for time, and is the elected representative of the people, as head of state of sovereign Nigeria, people are giving him time. You get me? People are giving him time. That's the essence of governance, that's the essence of politics. And that's the meaning of democracy. You have your say, the government has its way. Next.
All right, now one of the big takeaways that a lot of people have noted from the speech, which would possibly separate it from any other speech that we've heard from the president since this administration came into office, was the announcement of the Youth Confab, the 30-day dialogue with young people. Now, I think we've seen a lot of announcements, but the devil is in the detail, the implementation. Of course, they did say that they would be taking young people from all walks of life and, representing every area of Nigerian youth for the 30-day dialogue. My question to you is, what would bring equity to that platform? Because, so many of these conferences and committees and, there's so many gatherings. What is it that you feel will make this meaningful, impactful, and equitable?
I'll answer your question. The equity, you get me? It's the youth participation, is suggesting how to run the government.
Okay, so
National Youth Conference for 30 days. I don't envy the organization. You get me? You know our youths are exuberant. They may always make the conference go out of hand.
Oh, that's me? Not fair to say. I'm still a youth, technically.
No, you see, there's something they do in Lagos State, one-day governor. They bring a youth governor for 1 day. This is for 30 days now. I'm sure you'll get a lot of ideas. The equity in that is inclusion. That the youth don't feel left out and sidetracked. And invariably, even in the program, in the speech, the youth have a prime of place in terms of employment, in terms of the digital economy, so they can improve their skills and contribute to the progress of the country. But the important thing is the inclusion. They can't feel left out. And they can monitor government because their ideas will be there. Not, see, you mentioned other conferences. Other conferences are conferences of politicians. This is different. And like I said, I have my fears about it, but it is still a step in the right direction if it is well managed. Yes. So I go along with it. Yes.
Okay, great. Well, let's talk about the economy, Mr. Sobowale. The president outlined several economic measures. I'm just wondering, which of these do you believe is most crucial and expedient, but might also be relatively economically questionable?
All of them are crucial and are expedient. So it's just a matter of time. You look at the story he's telling, that our debt service ratio has been reduced from almost 100% to 68%. That our reserve, we have paid off our debts, our obligations of foreign exchange, both local, foreign exchange and foreign investment, we have fulfilled our obligations. These are past issues that he said they have cleared. And he was commending this governor of the Central Bank for this disciplined way he's going about it. This is public finance. Public finance is not a one-day issue. You get me? You don't know how the equation, economic equation will come out. And it is when you see it that you try to solve it. And that is what they are doing. And I think they are moving in the right direction. Right.
All right, I believe we're rounding up, but before we round up, I want to, I continue to take direct quotes from the speech. There's a sentence where he says that we are beginning to see light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes.
Like you rightfully pointed out, yesterday we discussed record all-time high, we're breaking, records for all-time high prices of basic commodities. Are we beginning to see the light at the end of the tunnel? And where is that light for those who may not be able to see it? Can you point us in the right direction?
We discussed this yesterday.
Where is the light?
I hope you read the speech again. He's making an appeal. He's calling for patience. And he has outlined what he has done. And you see, when you talk of prices, affordability and availability of goods and services matter. We were talking about prices yesterday. So I read somewhere in the US where they are trying to curb inflation. They say high prices solve high prices. After some time, consumers don't buy some things because of the high prices. They look for alternative. And when the stores selling, they see that the items are not moving. They lower their prices. Getting consumption, first 2/3 of any economic activity in any economy. You get me? And it's something that is always fluctuating. Okay, the world came out of COVID. Before COVID, we know how much we were spending. COVID made life difficult. But now we are recovering from COVID. Now people are coming out. They are producing things. But now we have a new government that what he inherited from the last economy. So it's a matter of trying to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
So we're trying, but you can't see it yet.
Not making a mockery. It is not a visual problem. Don't make a mockery of the tunnel.
I'm also trying to see the light, but for now, we will
hopefully we will see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you.
We hope it's not a strategy. Thank you so much, Arises analyst,
skepticism.
Mr. Dayo Sobowale. Thank you.